Tonight, a Coloradan is on his way home to his family, freed from captivity in Afghanistan. His case drew national attention, and advocates tell our Angeline McCall they hope this signals more Americans could be coming home.
It's a day family and advocates have hoped for.
So I think we're all excited and certainly sharing the joy of the Coyle family.
Benjamin Gray with the James Foley Foundation knows the journey it took to see Dennis Coyle from Pueblo released after being held hostage for more than a year in Afghanistan.
It really is a pattern of abuse by the Taliban and other nations that similarly deliberately target Americans for the purpose of trying to extract concessions or policy changes from the U.S. government.
Tuesday, the Taliban-controlled government announced Coyle had spent, quote, sufficient time and had been pardoned. He had been in the country off and on for 2 decades as a linguistic expert developing language resources.
Beginning of a long road for most folks, but even though it is, of course, very joyous that he is home.
His release comes only a few weeks after Secretary of State Marco Rubio designated the country as a wrongful detention state.
The message is going to be very clear. The United States will not tolerate hostage diplomacy. They're not going to tolerate, we're going to continue to hold that regime accountable.
Gray says that designation opens up tools and sanctions.
I would have to imagine that sort of ratcheting up of pressure through that designation and the further negative consequences that could come from that.
He hopes it signals good news for other hostages, at least 40 in 19 different countries.
We are hopeful that tool can be useful for all Americans who are held wherever they are.
In a statement posted online by Dennis's family, they said they are filled with overwhelming gratitude and praise to God for sustaining Dennis's life and bringing him back home after what has been the most challenging and uncertain 421 days of their lives. The family has previously said they never received clarity as to why he was imprisoned.
Right, and this wasn't like some American tourist who did something stupid in North Korea. He had been in Afghanistan for a long time, trying to help and learn about the people there.
Yeah, in fact, for 20 years, this was someone who really dedicated his life and his life's work, right, to linguistic research and going into smaller communities and studying different kinds of dialects in Afghanistan. We do know that aid workers are often targeted, though, as part of these hostage sorts of tactics.
Yeah, grab an American, they think they have leverage. All right, Angeline McCall, thank you.